Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, we've got a best of 3 from Stay at Home Story Cup between Stats and Rogue from the winner's bracket. Bottom left, it is Rogue, and in the top right, we've got Stats. Alright, so two excellent players. They are at the top of their game. Woo! Two Koreans facing off at Stay at Home Story Cup. We've got an Overlord scouting out here. We've got a probe attempting to block the hatchery of Rogue. I feel like Rogue's going to go 16, 18, 17 because that is the standard these days. Been a while since I've done a best of series. I feel like I should do them more. And, there we go. Blocking the hatch. The drone goes, hey man, how's it going? How's it going, Carl? Yeah, I know, you're blocking the hatch. I'm gonna bam. So 53 seconds for the natural base for Rogue. Throws off the build a little bit, but not too much. Not so much they cannot win. And let's see. The probe is still scouting because, once again, there is no spawning pool. 18 supply, about 130 minerals. Extractor. And then this guy is going to be a spawning pool. Yep, spawning pool. Cool beans. Makes it a little bit harder for Adept to shade back through here without going through a narrow choke they can be blocked on. So, liking it. I mean, if they're shading, they don't get blocked, but they're running around. Harder for them to operate behind the mineral line if the spawning pool is here. The general concept, not getting gas instantly. I think this guy's probably, yep, this guy's gonna pop over into the extractor. So, we're not super interested in getting for speed incredibly fast. He doesn't need it, right? There's gonna be some adept shenanigans, but you'll get speed in time to deal with it, even if you don't saturate your extractor fully immediately here. And yeah, so far so good. Stats looking alright. Stats is just, he's steady, man. Stats is a really, really steady player. Doesn't have super high, I guess he has super high highs, but his lows aren't ever super low. Rogue will have games every once in a while where he loses, and it's like, oh, that was a little surprising. But, you know, in Stats' case, if he loses, it's kind of like he played his best and someone just outplayed him, you know? If that makes any sense. Anyway, speed is getting started from Rogue. Ooh, Stargate opening. Are we surprised by this? No. Speaking of surprise, definitely not. Stats going for the Stargate here. Adept being chrono boosted out. Third base should be about 230. Rogue is considering his options here, but maybe closer to 240 on that base. Yeah, 244, 45. Ciao. All right, good stuff. Another Adept on the way. Ling's checking to see what's going on, and ow, gets murdered, but sees the Adept is moving out, and so all is well, all is fine here in the land of Rogue. Do we get an Oracle? I feel like we could get an Oracle here, but Void Ray first has been fairly popular too these days. The fact that he's waiting on this tells me Void Ray. Yep, okay. So Void Ray opening, chrono boosting that Void out. It's so good at denying early pushes from the Zerg. Like, if Roaches show up, the Void Ray's just like, brah. Burns them all to the ground. If Lings show up, the Void Ray doesn't kill them super quickly, but can really help against Ling Floods, Baneling Busts. Void Rays, they're fast enough to recover and dodge Corrosive Vials and stuff that did not always used to be the case. Yeah, see, the speed is done in time to get a surround on this Adept, and she's going... Oh! Gets the transfer. But both dead anyway, so one drone killed for 2 Adepts is not really good trades. In fact, it is pretty bad trades. And the Void Ray, I forget, also helps defend the third base pretty excellently. So the Void Ray is just safety. It really does allow the Protoss player to be fairly greedy with this. See, the Lings are like, we can mess with this. No, you can't, not with Papa Void Ray overhead. Just can't do it, man. See, look, the Lings are going to try to mess with it again. Void Ray says... Hang on. Are you not going to respond to this? Oh, that reaction time was a little bit slow, but look. See, all you need, one Void Ray, and behold, the third base is fine. You need to commit so much more to kill this third base than you used to before Void Rays were fast and good. So yeah, Stats can be greedy. Can take essentially a naked third base, nothing to defend it except for a single Void Ray, and you're good to go. What the heck is killing drones back here? Oracle, I'm assuming. Where are you, Oracle, though? No? Oh, no, it is. Okay, 3 kills on the Oracle, patrolling outside here. God, that is... That blue is a little hard to see on the minimap. Minimap size is not great here. That's fine. Another Void Ray. It's lots of Void Rays. Can be pretty much good at everything here, I think. Whew. Alright. Let's see how Rogue handles this. What is his answer going to be to all of these Void Rays? Revelation tossed down. See Rotorn coming up. And yeah, it's just, see, the 3rd base is done for stats, and the Zerg really can't super safely take a 4th base here. Lings try to jump in again, but guess what? There are the Void Rays. I mean, they can kill probes pretty effectively here. Maybe focus down that shield battery if they want, but 2 Void Rays plus shield battery means you got to get on out of there. So Rogue committing a little bit more than probably he should. Are we walking queens? We're walking queens, boys. We are trying to kill stats before he gets carriers out, which is exactly how Raynor beat Trap at Katowice 2021. He basically prevented Trap from getting carrier tech. He showed up, he tried to kill him. Sometimes he failed, but he succeeded more often than he failed, and he won the title. So, pretty amazing stuff. Is he really? Okay, he's walking him back. He decided not to do that. Interestingly enough. I mean, that was a committal. There's no way that was an accident. He was walking his queens out. Is it German taxi time? No. I don't think so. I don't see any dropper lords on the field. It's a ton of slow overlords cruising around. Alright, well. The vision here for Rogue is pretty good, but Stats has just been able to power up on 3 bases pretty easily. Rogue's 4th base is coming up now, but look, 3rd base is rolling heavily saturated. And Stats is looking just fine, thanks for asking. The creep spread, he tossed down a changeling in the midst of these queens. He's trying to get out. It's like, excuse me, ladies. I'm trying to fulfill a mission here. I was told to go somewhere, but you're blocking me in. Okay, finally made it out. Go. Fulfill your mission, changeling. Overseer with speed cruises in. Zippy unit, Overseer with speed. Even faster than Void Rays without their speed upgrade. Spire on the way from Rogue. I don't know. Mutas, maybe. Gosh, he's good with Mutalisks, though. So you know how I have my list of players that I trust with Mutalisks? Rogue's in his own category where he will lose a ton of Mutalisks, but his macro is so scary that it almost doesn't matter that he ends up losing them. Anyway, here comes Stats. He's got Zealot, Archon, Void Ray, kind of. So the Roaches are here to deal with the Zealots and the Archons, and then the Queens are here to deal with the Void Rays, and that's fine. That's absolutely fantastic. Another warping of Zealots here at the front with this Warp Prism. These Zealots finally coming down the side, but Rogue fully aware of what's going on. Sends Roach to deal with those guys. A couple drones die, but the Roaches not doing... There you go. Doing fine. Zealot's not doing as well. Got a War Prism cruising into the main, directly in range of 2 spores. And getting out of the range of 2 spores. And Zealots are here just wreaking some havoc here a little bit. But once again, Rogue is Johnny on the spot here, just pumping out Roaches, putting them in the positions where they need to be. And this is, oh my gosh, that's a greedy 4th from Stats. 8-minute 4th base for a Protoss. Rogue's going to try to win right here. So the Overseer says, you don't have much of an army, man. It's 128 to 77 total supply. Suddenly, the 4th base looks like it's in a lot of trouble. These Queens, again, using the speed zones, it does help a lot here. Huge warping of Zealots, though. Right here into the the natural base, I guess, but that is definitely a canceled 4th. Corrosive Piles, I don't know what those were aiming for necessarily, but whatever. 4th base is gone. There's just not much of an army up here at all. Meanwhile, Zealots are fighting drones, which is not what you want if you're Rogue. Zealots cruising into the 3rd base of Rogue. Over, again, the second, whatever. Storm is up. Trying to storm his way through this thing, but the transfuses the Queens are tossing down on the Ravagers are on point. 23 drones have died, but I don't know if Stats can hold against this shield battery. Void Ray is pretty good stuff for sure. This looks like a really tough hold for Stats, though. Cybernetics core goes down. Immortal production, chrono boosting one out. Oh, another, gets surrounded and killed. Another one's on the way, though. Are there still, yeah, Zealots are taking down Rogue's 3rd base. The chaos. The chaos is real right now, my friends. God, that... Yeah, the Robo's gone. Robo gone. He's kind of turtling up on his third base here, his stats, but he's going to lose his natural as well. He really needs that for income. Trying to get the Zealots on top of the Queens. The Transfuses are good. The Ravager trying to kill the Zealots from behind. The Queens need to survive here if they're going to deal with the Void Rays. Oh, there are still 2 Queens. More Roaches popping up. The Void Rays are extremely injured and not really able to engage right now. That Archon is going to die real fast. And it does. Dodging Corrosive Vials like a boss here is Stats. Holding on. Corrosive Vial takes down the already depleted shield battery. The Queens can't really engage with the Void Rays from this position, but I'm not sure how much it actually matters. Stats is down to 81 total supply, 19 total army supply here. Corrosive Vial is getting tossed down on points from Rogue, looking extremely good. The Zealots on the other side of the map have been cleaned up. There's just nothing left, and good game. Rogue ends up taking game number 1 of our best of 3 series. A tight hold indeed. He only had 26 workers back home. If Stats had held this attack, Stats would have been in a fine economic position. 3 base to 3 base, 42 workers to 26, but there was just enough army supply here where Rogue could force a tap out from Stats. He couldn't defend this base, and he knew that means that this one would fall, and the main base wasn't really worth much anymore, and great game 1. Fantastic display out of Rogue. Brings the Queens across, makes good use of the speed zones to do it, and takes the win off of Stats. So game 1 in the books. Let's move on to game number 2. Game number 2 between these 2 players is on Submarine. Top left, Stats. Bottom right, Rogue. Alright, so Rogue did the Queen Walk. Not a German taxi, but a variation of that build. Just to make sure that Stats didn't get up to a full Skytoss Armada. Again, Zerg have a really hard time with the current composition that makes up the Golden Armada for Protoss these days. Even the top Zerg, right? We've seen Raynor lose to Skytoss, we've seen Rogue lose to Skytoss, we've seen Serral lose to Skytoss, and Dark as well, I feel like. Submarine, very short rush distance, pretty easy to block the hatch. Rogue's like, okay, hello once again, Phil. Alright, so throwing down, 51 seconds, whatever. Again, it's fine. Obviously, Rogue won the last game, despite the fact that he got hatch blocked. Not a huge deal. Overlord here to make sure it's not a cannon rush, right? Overlord scanning all corners of the natural from this position, can see even into the deepest, darkest corners here. You could probably put a pylon up here, but a cannon would have to be envisioned. So, like that positioning from Rogue for sure. 16, 18, 17 on the other side. Stats tossing down the gateway. And then I'll go for an expansion, and then I'll go for a second pylon and a second gas, or maybe a second gas and a second pylon, whatever the order is. It doesn't really matter here. Again, build orders are, they're just important. Like, the first 2 minutes of your match can really make or break you if you're trying to win a game of StarCraft. Like, if you're losing a lot in StarCraft and not quite sure what you're doing, a build order can really help you immensely. I'd recommend going to lotv.spawningtool.com. That's tool as in a hammer or, you know, a saw or something. Spawningtool.com, and click on build orders and find your race, right? What race you want, what matchup you're interested in. And then it'll tell you at what supply to build your units and to build your buildings, all right? So, again, if you can get the first 2 to 3 minutes of your game down, it will help you so much in winning games from that point on. Like, there's still a million other things you have to do, right? You need to keep building workers, keep making overlords, keep making pylons. There are a million different things you have to work on. Injects are really important for Zerg too, but your build order is one of those things and can really help you immensely if you're trying to win matches. So pulls workers off gas after speed. So indicates what we're going to do here is toss down. I was going to say toss down a third, but this is not quite happening yet. Hold on. There it is. So again, it's just a little bit later than I'm expecting it, but there's that third base. So even the aggressive plays from Zerg these days, you get a third hatch. So don't see a third hatch, Protoss and Terran, and assume that you're fine. You're not going to be aggressively smashed by a Zerg player. The third base can be there just for larva production for roaches, right? That's what we saw, we've seen in the 2.5 Roach Ravager attacks against Terran especially. Not as good, not as useful against Protoss, because you do need queens for that anti-air. But again, short rush distance means Queens can get up here pretty quickly. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. Adepts doing adepty things. Taking hits. There's a surprising number of hits there from those lings and those queens. Adepts have to get on home. Can't really get... Oh, hang on. The front door's open. Lings are getting in. Oh, no. I mean, they're not going to kill anything, but they can scout off. They can see what's going on. It's a resonating glaive adept build with a robotics facility. That's exactly this kind of scouting you did not want Rogue to get here. Whoa! It's a lot of Zerglings. Okay. Whoa! Ling flooding. Oh, like extra wall. The Cyber Core is going to die. There's nothing you can do to save it. But dude, resonating glaive adepts. Not a bad answer here to deal with a Ling rush like this. 22 Lings are in production right now. They are trying to smash through that gate. Warp gate is dead. This warp gate is dead. Resonating glaives is not done, but stats very calmly, very efficiently. Oh, the adepts are holding that line incredibly enough. Ooh, shield battery is up as well. That's really, really important. More Lings cruising. Cruising for a bruising. Trying to take down the shield battery. Might as well get some shots off on these pylons, though. There you go. A lot of these Lings aren't doing much. Okay, so shield battery down. There's not even Banelings, man. This is just a 3-hatch, 26 worker, all the speedlings known to mankind. This is like a Falcon build. Oh, some of them got in, but the force field comes up just in time. Oh, snipe. A snipe on the sentry, though. Is this going to be a quick 2-0 for Rogue in our best of 3? Dude, Resonating Glaives is done, though. That's massive. Look at this adept. 25 kills on this adept. No! The Lings got inside the house. The probes are forced to fight. They're forced to fight against this. Adepts trying to do what they can. Probes filling that wall with their bodies here. Okay. Lings coming in again, desperately trying to do this thing. It is 24 to 10 army supply. But the wall is happening here. And are the Lings just... Okay. This... Oh, man. He is not giving up. He's at 26 workers to 40. I feel like he could abort this. I feel like he could. Oh, the Resonating Glaive Adept style here, though. It's kind of a build order loss for Rogue. They just hit so fast and so hard. They two-shot the Lings. Their attack speed is increased immensely with Resonating Glaives. 35% speed increase, something like that, 40%. I don't know. I mean, maybe if you had some Banelings or trying to get some Roaches, right? 4 Roaches are in production right now, but golly, this is a lot. So we're just gonna Warp Prism. We're gonna send these Adepts across the map. Do you have enough Roaches to handle this? The answer is currently no. 3, with another one on the way, making some Ravagers try to help deal with the incoming horde. Oh, doesn't finish that transfer. But these Adepts, every drone that dies here is so gosh darn important. Oh, 4 drones down just like that. And then when it gets too dicey for the Adepts, you pick them up and get out of there. And you come on in here and you try to kill some stuff. Just 6 drones, 7 drones. Corrosive Vials landing down here. But I mean, this is a lot of dead Zerglings, ladies and gentlemen. The Adepts are just not dying. Okay, now a bit of a surround. One Adept does die. Another Adept dies, but 9 drones killed. These Adepts kind of hanging out on the edge of the map here. It is 10 drones killed. Rogue is down to 25 after trying to drone up here. That didn't go particularly well for him. Zerglings. Man, there's just almost no further tech here at all. I guess we have 2 Ravagers, 3 total Ravagers trying to get through this wall. Immortals are on the way for stats, trying to hold. Good heavens to Betsy. This is rough. This is some really, really rough stuff here. I don't know. It's a lot of Zerglings, yeah, but the Resonating Glaive Adepts behind the wall are exceptionally good against those Lings. The only real threat here are going to be the Ravagers. All 3 of them. I mean, Rogue is not droning up. Rogue is making 14 more Zerglings as we speak. If you get a full surround on this, which Stats is not going to let him do. Good force fields there on the south side. Ling's trying to pick off these sentries. It's really important that they die. Ling's on top of the Immortals as well, but the Resonating Glaive at depths. Just brah. Crows of Bio's getting some serious hits here at the same time. Shield Battery overcharged from way back here, really helping with that. My gosh, look at the Zerg blood on the ground. Is it going to be 100 Zerglings dead in this game? Easily, I feel like is what we're looking at. The Ling control here from Rogue is absolutely insane. Cinder's getting picked up by the War Prism and saved out of the battle, brought to the back lines. This Shield Battery has done so much work today, all basically out of energy, which is not good. Oh, man. 3 kills, 4 kills. And that's it. Rogue taps out. Stats holds on. He's got the economic advantage. Rogue knows that. He wasn't droning up behind it. 25 workers to 46 is not going to work out. The tech was definitely favoring the Protoss player as well there. 199 Zerglings died today. That is so many Zerglings. He has 52. He made 100. He made 100. 250 Lings in 9 minutes. That's a lot of Zerglings, man. 11 drones died. 1 probe died. That's actually super impressive that not more probes died when the Ling attacks, especially in the early stages of the game. 28 Adepts were killed. A War Prism, 4 sentries, the Robotics Facility, 2 gateways, but Stats hold on against the aggressiveness of Rogue. Let's move into game number 3. See who comes on top here in our best of 3. Excited to see who it is. And we will return shortly. The final match in our best of 3 will be here on Romanticide. Top left Stats, bottom right Rogue. So Rogue's been super aggressive in the first 2 games here. 1-1, lost 1. And that Ling Flood can work sometimes, but I'm not entirely sure I've seen it work more often than I've seen it lose. I think somebody has stats on that, but I do not. What are we doing? What is this? Oh, a hatch block? Nah, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. Why would you do this, Rogue? It's just, the timing is so brutally close. Like, it's gotta be a little bit annoying for the Zerg, right? Ka-chow. 49 second base. Again, the Zerg wants 3 bases anyway. This does slow them down a tiny bit, but not really enough that it means anything. I mean, it's just mind games at this point. Is the reason Protoss do it so much is because it's just annoying. Trying to throw your opponent off kilter a little bit here. So let's see what happens. Stats is not going outside of his normal play, right? He's going to go for Gateway Expand. He's going to react to whatever Rogue's going to toss at him. Rogue's decided to be not the reactionary race, but instead be the one who determines what's going to happen, which is honestly how I prefer to play StarCraft as well. I kind of hate... It's hard. It's hard playing Serral style, right? It is hard defending. It's annoying. You have to constantly be watching the minimap, constantly knowing who's on the edge of your creep, what's out there, splitting your army in 4 different places at once, watching for drops. I'd rather be the one that shows up at your front door with 12 roaches and 4 ravagers and like, let's do this. Let's do this thing now. Rather than, you know, having this be a super long macro style game. It's just not as fun for me. I get it's more effective. It's a billion times more effective, right? Serral's a world champion using it. But again, Rainer's world champion by not using it in Katowice earlier this year. So, things change. The more things change, the more they stay the same sometimes. Anyway, we're going to guess we're going to expand here at about 250? 250 is about where that base starts to go down here. Probe's still scouting around. Metabolic boost is not anywhere near complete. Checks for the 3rd base, doesn't see it. Clips through the ground there. That was an interesting little clip. Don't see a lot of that, I feel like, in StarCraft 2. Anyway, hit that like button if you're enjoying this so far. I do post StarCraft 2 content 5 times a week, so if you subscribe, you'll get access to those. If you're watching this on my Brood War and StarCraft channel, you get some Brood War stuff on the other days of the week. So, I mean, if you like StarCraft, this is not a terrible place to be. 50,000 subs. Probably can't be wrong about that. In general. So, Warp Gate, and there's your Void Ray opening. So, Oracle openings have sort of fallen out of favor. It's not that we never see them. It's just Void Rays are so good defensively in this matchup in particular, right? So good. So good defensively. Allows you to get that third base out. We talked about that in game 1 a whole ton. Adept going to come over here for the scouting purposes. Maybe try to kill some drones. Queen's getting these early shots is really important. Whittling those shields down so the Adepts are a little squishier and are forced to flee before really getting a lot done. 1 kill, 2 kills. Yeah, at least they're not dead. That's good. Also, the Void Ray can kill Overlords real easy too. So defensively, yes. Denying scouting, yes. Incredible. It is an Oracle follow-up, but again, third base, pretty well defended by the fact there's a Void Ray here. I mean, a couple of Adepts are going to help that immensely too, but, you know, these Lings are just, what are they going to do? Other than try to shut down this third. If they get, there's no way. There's just not a way they get anything at this third base. The Lings not getting through the wall because we have an Adept in there. Hello, Adept. Progress bar was in your face there a little bit. Third base done from Rogue, starting to saturate it quite nicely here. We do have Twilight Council on the opening here after the Stargate. Alright, alright. Again, we saw Resonating Glaives in game 2. That's something we could possibly see again here. But about 4-minute Spores to defend, recognizing it was a Void Ray opening instead of an Oracle opening, but that Oracle follow-up, definitely a possibility. So having some Spores in here to help out against that is going to be pretty darn good. There we go. We caught you this time. Yeah, a sneaky Oracle. Does get a couple drone kills, but a lot of HP removed out of here. 37 HP remaining. Lings, once again, can't do much because of the presence of the Void Rays. And what are we doing? It is Resonating Glaives again, so back to the well. Assassin's like, I didn't get to do my build as cleanly and properly as I wanted to in the last game. So let's roll back the clock. Try to go for that again. Lings just trying to see what they can see. Ooh, nice little probe snipes, though. 2 probes. 3 is a little bit hard, but a bit of a dangerous transfer here. I know it's not that far, but man, when there are speedlings out on the field, they can strike at any gosh darn time. So here we go. I mean, again, this isn't something that I've seen a Zerg lose too often recently, but stats is not any normal Protoss, that's for sure, right? We're just going to go Resonating Glaive Adepts. Do we have a... We don't even have a War Prism. This is a walk across the map, Resonating Glaives Adept play. Roaches are popping. Queens are here. Lings are here. You can do this with Lings and Queens. It's just hard. It's really hard. The Queen count matters immensely. And there we go. So, look at the chaos in here. Queens are transfusing each other pretty effectively. Adepts taking a lot of hits. Some Roaches doing some good work here as well. The Adepts are getting whittled down quite nicely, but several of them make it into the third base, killing 3 drones, 4 drones there. But it looks like Rogue's going to go ahead and rebuff this. So we're not reinforcing, right? The Adepts that we have are the ones that we're going to use to try to kill here. We're making probes back home, getting Blink, saturating the third base. So killed as many drones as possible, and the answer was 10. So, I don't know, 10 drones is okay. Not horrendous. Not a horrendous loss at all. Yeah, I think Rogue's fine, honestly. He's up in army supply. Worker count is a little bit behind, but he's catching up quickly. Thanks to, again, perfect injections on 3 separate hatches that he has available right now. And honestly, probably going to toss down a 4th base here based on the creep spread pattern. Or maybe here to help with that creep spread. Yeah, there we go. So this is definitely a location that taking of bases is possible. And quite nice. Actually got a bit of a stasis ward tossed down by the Oracle, which is not alive anymore. Is alive anymore. Is alive anymore. Try to mess with that 4th base. But now we're making a Warp Prism and getting that Blink, and a Robotics Bay is getting tossed down. Back home for Los Protoss. Another robotics facility, too. So, I'm imagining Colossus here, although we've seen Disruptor be used to great effect against Rogue in particular fairly recently at GSL. So, keep that in mind. Disruptor play, good against Zerg, just because their units are big and bulky and not super fast, especially Roaches and Ravagers and Hydras. Splitting is a little bit hard. And it can just be good. Like, the Zerg isn't as good at splitting as the Terran is, and I'm not sure if they ever will be either. Oracle's got 7 kills. Honestly, not bad. Not bad at all. So Blink Stalker composition going for round 2 on the attack here with some sentries as well. Army supply is even at this stage. 9 Hydras in production. Getting Hydra speed, getting more Ravagers to try to deal with this, working on 1/1 upgrades. How are the upgrades for the Protoss? +1 attack is done for the Protoss, and 2 Colossus are on the way. So traditional ground style army here, but again, what the Protoss wants to do is go traditional ground style army and then sneak into Sky Toss. Right? That's generally the goal here in this matchup, is force the Zerg player to commit to the ground army of the Protoss because it's big enough and scary enough. There are enough Colossus, there are enough Stalkers to really be a serious threat that Rogue can't disregard. So he makes enough army here, he gets the upgrades for his ground units, and meanwhile the tech switch back home for the Protoss is suddenly, you know, he's got 8 carriers, and you're like, oh, all I have are some Hydras to deal with that, and your Spire's not done. Ah, wait, we're German taxiing, though, with Hydras, too. Look at that, Dropper Lords. I see you, Dropper Lords. I see you loading up in here. Oh, it's not even German taxi, it's just loading Roach Hydra. Oh, a Roach Hydra drop play. Overlord coming in to see what kind of defenses and available places to drop are here in the main base. Also, this group kind of trying to make it seem like, okay, look, everyone's here, stats, don't worry about the unaccounted for units. The problem comes, though, when Rogue kind of needs those units back home to defend. But, I mean, this is Terran style, man. This is Terran style. I'm going to drop on you while pushing your front. It's something that Protoss does, too, to be honest with you. Nice revelation tag here. Infestation Pit coming in. So, how... Oh, the Void Ray found it. Oh, gosh. Ow. 2 full Overlords die before anybody unloads anything. And, okay, fully unloads before it dies. The remaining units are here. Void Ray dies. Right? So, recall ready for the defense as always. And, yeah, it's just not, it's not much. Like, he's backing into a corner. He's trying to fight as well as he can. Kills a pylon, I guess. Doesn't really, I mean, does supply block stats temporarily here, but just enough Blink Stalker to wreck this. And that didn't go all that particularly well. Lurker Den is on the way. 26 Lings in production. A couple probes died. These Overlords probably should head home rather than hanging out there because another Void Ray is going to find them if they're not careful. So that was, I don't know, I would characterize that as a fail. Rogue's got a 5th base up the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Storms on the way here from stats. There are 4 Colossus. I don't know if this is enough Zerg. I love the surround. I do like the surround attempt here. Corrosive Bile is actually largely useful in taking down one of those Colossus. So the Colossus are dead, but man, that is so many Blink Stalkers. Storm's not even here. It's a tight hold for Rogue. I don't know. This Colossus has 8 kills. 17 Roaches are popping out now. Queens are... Nope, not enough. And stats. After losing game number 1, comes out on top. 2 games to 1 there. I don't know. I feel like Rogue could have held, honestly. I mean, if we take a look at this... The force fields are incredibly good. And then the Blink on top of the Ravagers... Like, Stalkers don't trade super well versus Roach Ravager Ling, but if you have enough of anything, they can take down their counter pretty effectively. Yeah, so this is basically your GG, right? So production tab says 15 Roaches are on the way, but the Colossus is alive. There are a whole ton of Stalkers. Army supply is 88 to 58. 2-2 finishing up would be incredibly good for Rogue, but the army is right here at this very, very important base for Rogue. If he loses this, he loses the game. He gets knocked down to 3 bases. I guess this one technically exists, but still, it's a problem, considering stats is on 4 himself. It's just, it's an odd... It's a really odd GG timing. Like, his Roaches are popping. His Roaches are popping right here. He just decides he doesn't have enough for it. And he's out. I mean, income tab is favoring stats a little bit here. 76 to 70 workers. I guess the drop failing and then just not quite having the right composition to handle this. There were no Vipers, there were no Corruptors. It was purely Roach Hydra Ling, which against Colossus are going to struggle a little bit. Although 3 of the 4 Colossus did get killed. So that was pretty incredible, honestly, by Rogue that he pulled that off. But actually 4 Colossus died. Dang. All 4 of the Colossus died. Okay. That's a little bit different. But 27 Stalkers versus 9 roaches in production and 8 on the way. 15 roaches. It's rough. It's extremely a rough position. All right. So well done. I mean, well done stats. There's a reason he's scary. Like, there's a reason he's you know, considered one of the best Protoss players of all time. Most extensive resumes for Protoss of all time. One of the best players, period, of all time. Here is stats, and he gets your win. So, great job by stats. Holding off that drop pretty darn effectively. The Void Ray sniffed it out. And getting that 4th base up. Not even having to transition into Sky Toss at all. So, good job by him. You don't need the carriers to win, says stats. All right, amazing. So that right there is going to be it from me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 and a best of 3. Go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.